They had to get the production going at a different studio. We went to Raleigh's studio for this. Set up the whole Vegas thing, and the day that we were going to shoot, I got the flu, and I was sick. I was sick, man. I wouldn't believe I had like 104 fever. I was delirious, and I was like, I don't care. I'm doing this, no matter what. I'm going to do it. So I don't know. I dragged myself out there and did it in between takes. I was laying on the floor, groaning and moaning, and but it got it done. And I'm happy to say it doesn't look like I'm dying, and I just had to turn it on and turn it off. That would kill me. But I just can't imagine that movie without that scene. Can you? It's so unbelievable.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flamingo Hotel is proud to present the Mistress of the Dark, Elvira.
At the premiere on September 22nd, on my 22nd birthday. 22 is the luckiest night of my life. I didn't get to sleep with Elvira that night, but that would have really made it lucky.
Well, we have the two biggest premiere parties that you have ever seen in your life. One at the Hollywood Roosevelt, and the movie premiered and opened at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And we had like big stars of the time, like Richard Chamberlain, Nicolas Cage. I mean, oh my God, Roseanne, Arquette, all these people who were like really happening at the time came to the party. We had a giant party at Tavern on the Green in New York City, where I came across the lake, which was covered in fog, in a boat, and a diver who was under the water came up as a creature from the Black Lagoon and tried to grab me, and I like kicked him and knocked him back down in the water. That's how I ended the party. I mean, it was insanely cool. Ricky Lake was there, and all these Broadway stars.
For 10 years, or 6 years, 8 years, we've been saying we're going to get this movie done, and no matter what, we're going to get this movie done, and we finally did it, and it was a great feeling.
It was so much fun with the whole cast and crew, and seeing it up on the big screen for the first time, and I loved it. It was just a big gala event.
And the audience laughed beginning to end, non-stop laughing. And I was like, oh my God, it's the biggest hit that ever happened, I was sure it was just going to be. And I knew it was a fake, it was real laughter. People freaking loved it. And after they stood up, they were standing ovation, they were applauding, everybody just loved it. Yeah, darn.
For a moment there, our minds may have strayed that maybe we got a good movie here. And of course, never realized much at the box office, and partly due to lack of promotion and also realities of a quirky little comedy like that making a dent. The opening night, I went to see it in Westwood, UCLA campus, and the minute I walked in, I just said, oh, we're in trouble. And maybe it was an early, maybe it was 7 o'clock, whatever, it was virtually empty. But that wasn't the sad part. The sad part was who I ran into in the lobby. It was Brandon Tartikoff. And we were virtually the only, and he had just driven down from some Beverly Hills, and he knew it within a second that he was not going to be making a sequel.
We were writing it for what we thought was fun, and we thought, well, we think it's fun. Somebody else would think it's fun too.
I think the marketing parroted what the film was, which in a sense was a gentle kind of teasing comedy versus a harder edge, what you thought you were going to get from her. She had established her brand as a sex pot, and her character was a sex bot in the film, but in a 1950s version of a sex bot. It was very gentle, you know, very innocent, very chaste in many ways, even though she was, you know, pursuing this guy. And I do think that if that film would have been taken over by people more interested in making an R-rated comedy, it would have been a little bit more porkies. You know, you would have had a bit more suggestiveness in the marketing. You would have delivered a bit more of the suggestiveness.
Well, I felt partly responsible in that I'm tremendously ambitious when it comes to what I can and can't get done on a movie set. So if somebody said, well, burner at the stake, we had 300 extras and we, you know, lit fire. And the famous story is that the director was told that he was never going to be able to make the schedule, and he opened the script and he looked at it and he crossed out the whole paragraph, he circled, and the Indians took the town. Flaming arrow hits church door.
And at the time, the Ernest movies were big, and so we were thinking, hey, perfect character, you know, Ernest goes here, Elvira goes, you know, to prison, Elvira goes to hell, whatever. So we were definitely thinking of a series, but when, for unseen reasons, the movie tanked.
It came out in 1988, the same week as Punchline and Gorillas and Myths. Those are the three big movies out that week. We went out to 110, 130, 110, 120 theaters. And it was the third highest grossing movie in week 1 and in week 2. But then what happened in week 3, the theater owners, seeing the headlines in the trades that New World Entertainment was possibly going under, not meeting its jump on interest payments, they figured that New World would not continue to 80,000. They shipped 180,000 the first week, and that was at a time when video was costing $89.95, $89.95 to buy video.
I don't know the first thing about like box office and distribution rights and all that stuff. That's really not my thing. So I don't know anything, you know, as far as the success of it from that perspective. But I can tell you that when I traveled with Cassandra, with Elvira, all over the country, there are thousands and thousands of fans of this film that would literally come up to us, you know, dressed as the characters. They could quote the lines from the film to us. I mean, they were so devoted, you know, to this film. And it's sort of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show thing. You know, there's sort of it's a cult following, really.
You cannot believe that people have come up to me and say, that movie changed my life. That was my favorite movie when I was a kid, and I was bullied. I was, you know, fat, or I was gay, or I had terrible skin, or whatever problem they felt like set them apart and made them a misfit, and they didn't feel like they fit in with their peers. And they said, after seeing that movie, I got a renewed, like, a new feeling about myself. Like, I can stand up to people. I didn't have to take this crap, and I can be cool and tough, and I'm just amazed how many people tell me that from all walks of life. So it's like, that movie actually made a difference in people's lives. That's crazy.
I guess the movie is seen a lot because people come up to me and mention Elvira is the Dark, and I actually get pictures of people who remember the movie and remember me in it. I mean, I was so much younger, but I had about the same amount of hair, so I guess I haven't changed that much.
Was it well?